Hi, I'm Dr. Tish with our MedMinute question of the week. And this is one I'm surprised we haven't gotten sooner, but we have got it today. So, what is the difference between hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism? So, that's a good question. Really, let's step back and say, what does the thyroid gland do? Well, the thyroid gland has a lot of functions, but most importantly, it's responsible for energy and metabolism. So, it controls our metabolism. So hypothyroid is typically low thyroid. So hypo, that means low thyroid. And so generally there's a couple ways that people can get this. One, their body can just not produce enough thyroid hormone. In other words, their brain could be telling them to make thyroid hormone, but their thyroid is just not doing it. So their thyroid levels were low. Or secondarily, their brain might not even be telling them to make the thyroid hormone. So in that case, it would be low as well. Another time it can be low is if someone was taking thyroid hormone for a long time and then abruptly stops. They're not time period, it's going to be relatively low. So symptoms of low thyroid are people are fatigued. They may have problems with their skin and hair. The biggest problem generally is weight. When people's thyroid's low, they struggle with their weight because, once again, the thyroid is responsible for metabolism. So your metabolism gets a little bit slower. So it becomes more difficult to burn calories. So you have to be a little bit more aggressive with dieting to the point where sometimes when it gets so low, it doesn't matter how much you diet, you just can't lose weight. And then when you eat just normal amounts of food, you start to stack on the pounds. So that's hypothyroidism. That's the most common problem we see. Then there's hyperthyroidism. That means the thyroid is too much. So there's again two ways that this can happen. One, your brain could just be telling your thyroid to make too much thyroid hormone. In that case, both the thyroid hormones are elevated. They're on the higher end. Or a second way, which is probably the most common way we see hyperthyroidism, is people are taking thyroid hormone and for whatever reason that level got too high. Whether they took a little bit too much, the dose was too high, or maybe their thyroid started functioning and the dose that they're on became relatively too high. So typically the symptoms of hyperthyroidism, but if in the short term, they makes you feel jittery, almost like you had too much caffeine. Your pulse could increase. Over long term, if someone's had hyperthyroidism for a while, they tend to be very skinny because their metabolism is jet charged. They're the people that can eat whatever. The mildest one, they're the people that can eat whatever and never gain any weight. When it gets too high, then people can't keep any weight on. Their heart's racing, they feel poorly, they're sweating all the time, they're very anxious. So that's the difference between the two, low and high. The most common problem that we see is low or hypothyroidism, and they're both very easily fixed, but that's the one that we tend to fix the most.